Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Saturday. This is Game Day Live, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio studios in beautiful New Jersey, dodging the dodgy weather outside, and Chicago, Illinois, where Vinnie Parise is, as we're streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network as the Devils take on the Philadelphia Flyers tonight at Wells Fargo Center. Going to be a big game as they're trying to extend their unbeaten road streak, or actually undefeated road streak of 10-game winning streak on the road. That's what it is. And 4-game point streak, trying to extend that as well. Vinnie, how are you, my friend? I can't wait to see you for the first time next week at American Whiskey on December 9th.
I'm doing very good. I'm so excited to enter what is the week that I will come to New Jersey for the first time in my life. I'm very much looking forward to it. It is going to be an absolute blast. Listen, this last Devils game that went on a couple days ago, that was tough. Okay, I'll say it. I watched the post-game show. Keeping up with all the tweets and all that. It was a tough game. You let one slip away. You were 8 seconds away from getting 2 points instead of one. It would have been a 4-game winning streak instead of starting a new one here tonight, trying to at least before losing to Nashville. The only team that the Devils have played that they haven't beaten is the Philadelphia Flyers. They have righted the wrong against Detroit. They lost a game to Detroit. They later beat them. They lost to Washington. They later beat them. Okay, and they lost there was one other loss that they avenged. And, now they're trying to do that tonight against there isn't. It's Philly. And Philly's one of their losses that they haven't avenged yet. There's a chance to tonight. Since beating the Devils on opening night, one team has gone one way and one team has gone another way. The Flyers got off to a really hot start. People were talking, Torts' Flyers, man. He could get any roster to perform well. Not so fast. They're 8-11-5. It's come down a lot since. The Devils are 19-4-1, and the Devils are heavy favorites tonight. But just because you're heavy favorites doesn't mean jack. You got to go out there and play your hardest and give it your all. I think the Devils are capable of righting a wrong against this Flyers team on the road.
If you remember Game Day Live or the pre-show when I interviewed Bill Meltzer of PhiladelphiaFlyers.com, if you go back to that video, one of the things that we talked about the Flyers was I felt that the Flyers are not going to be just like dead last place. I just felt a Tortorella team would never stoop that low. But what we did both agree on was that he's going to get the best out of each player each night. And you better be prepared because Tortorella is not going to allow any lapses in effort on his team. They're going to be the most well-conditioned. They're going to fight for every inch of the ice. They are not going to go down that easily. And I think their record is, it shows that because he's gotten as much as he could out of these players. And they're not in last place, but they're going to be a tough team to go against. The New Jersey Devils, they've gone in a different direction. We never would have thought it would be this good. But you kind of see that they're sliding a little bit from some of their good habits. Starting games down 2-0, 2 games in a row. That needs to be addressed. Not getting off to a good start. Second period has always been their period. And last game, a little sloppiness towards the end of the game. Unable to execute and get that insurance goal. And they got burned. Once you let a team like the Flyers or the Predators, who just hang around, but they're 100% at all times, you're going to give them an opportunity, and most often you get burned. So the Devils need to kind of, again, it's really, we're picking at them, but the reality is they gave away that point against the Predators, and that's a little concerning, but they can right the ship right now and just obliterate the Flyers tonight.
I couldn't agree more. And in my opinion, the teams that I like to see win the lottery every year are the ones that play hard no matter what. And you see that the coach and the players, they're not tanking, right? The organization as a whole might be tanking. There's no doubt the Flyers organization, by some of the moves that they've made, have shown people that they want to be amongst the bottom in the league and try to rebuild and get a Bedard or a Fantilli or something like that. And those are the teams that, when they're not in the Devils division, I normally root for to win the lottery. Like, even when the Devils won the lottery, they came in like sixth to last place. That's kind of where I see the Flyers ending. So I do think there will be some NHL fans out there that root for a team like Philly to win the lottery over a team like Anaheim or Chicago or Arizona, who are just so bad. You kind of like when those types of teams win the lottery. It helps, keep the competitive balance. Like, oh, if we come in last place, that doesn't guarantee anything. And Torts knows that. The top guns on the Philadelphia Flyers know that. They got good players. Kevin Hayes is outstanding. Okay, I really like Carter Hart as a goaltender, and they're a quality team that plays hard. And Nashville's really freaking good too. They got off to a poor start, but I like their roster. I picked them on a couple of my written pieces for Fansided to come in second place in the Central Division. So they kind of got off to a slow start. They've been really hot lately. I believe they came into the Rock 6-3-1 in their last 10 games. And now they're 7-3-1 in their last 11. That's a really good record. And you talked about the Devils kind of being in a little bit of a funk right now in terms of, the way they've played, some of the habits. That's going to happen. It's going to happen all season long. We picked them to be a bubble team. Okay, none of us predicted them to enter December 3rd as the number one team in the NHL with 39 points. They had a major, major high with the 13-game winning streak. They had a mini high, 3 games winning streak, right bouncing back after their first loss to break the streak. They blew a game to Nashville. Every team in the league is going to blow at least 4 games this season where they had a lead late. It happens to everybody. The Ottawa Senators, who according to my notes are 28th in the league right now, according to the standings, they shelled the Boston Bruins earlier this season. And the Bruins are right there with the Devils at the top. So stuff like that happens. I'm not too worried about Mikhail Granlund and Philip Forsberg making a sweet play at the end of the game last time. That's, like I said, that's just hockey sometimes. And it's about how you bounce back, how you prepare, how you act as a teammate in tough times. And I'm not even saying it's a tough time. It's a 4-game point streak. You have one of the worst teams in the league coming up on the schedule. Go out there and play your you-know-what off the entire game. If that happens, I expect guys like Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, Nico Hischier, Dougie Hamilton, go out there, play your game, you'll dominate, I promise. And, you got to do it, though. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, I agree with you, but I'm seeing some comments here, and I actually got a text from a friend. So I'm gonna bust some chops here. Not that I disagree or whatever. People are asking about your article about Patrick Kane to the New Jersey Devils. Tony P says clickbait, all that kind of stuff. I almost wanted to respond back that, Vinnie doesn't know that the taxi cab drivers won't take Patrick Kane's crap in terms of the tip. But in all seriousness, why don't you talk a little bit about that article on pucksandpitchforks.com?
Yeah, it's not on pucksandpitchforks.com. It's on DeWindyCity.com.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And that is, then I had a feeling this was going to happen just because of the natural following that I've built on Twitter. I have way more. On baseball season, my following is largely Chicago. During hockey season, it's largely New Jersey. And that I have been going through and saying, because Blackhawks fans know Patrick Kane is getting traded. So what I've been doing is going through each and every team and saying, hey, if they were to trade Patrick Kane to this contender, what would the trade look like? If they were to trade him to this contender, what would the trade look like? I've done it with the Boston Bruins. I've done it with the New York Rangers, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I finally did it for the New Jersey Devils. Is it clickbait? Define clickbait. In my opinion, the true definition of clickbait is you're misleading people to false information. There's no false information in the article whatsoever. It is simply a think piece. If by clickbait you mean I want people to click it,
Well, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yes.
That's like saying, "Hey, who wouldn't want to raise that work?" Or, "Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, you won the lottery. Who wouldn't want that?" I mean, come on.
So all I'm doing from a Chicago point of view, I get paid to write for Chicago and New Jersey. So when I'm doing it for thewindycity.com, it is simply from the perspective of a Blackhawks fan that is reading it on a daily basis. Even though in my personal life I'm a New Jersey Devils fan, I get paid to cover the Blackhawks. What would a Patrick Kane trade look like for every contender that could possibly trade for him? That's all it is. Do I think the Devils are going to trade for Patrick Kane? No.
Yeah.
But are they one of the teams that it would make sense for this season? Well, I would say there are about, looking at the standings, there are about 11 teams, I think, that would thrive by adding Patrick Kane. Like the Tampa Bay Lightning probably can't afford it, but like would Colorado think of something like that? The Islanders. How about the Carolina Hurricanes, the Dallas Stars? I mean, all the contenders. Devils happen to be a contender. They get the article written about them. It was nothing more than that.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's why I want you kind of like explain it, because when you hear, we want to address, we love the comments on the YouTube Live, the Facebook Live, and I wanted you to address that. I didn't realize that it was on the Windy City. Now that it kind of explains your point of view when you write, it's obviously a pay gig. You just said that, and and clickbait. Yeah, I mean, you made a great point about clickbait. Like, clickbait is like if you say something like, what are they saying about taxi cab drivers in New Jersey if Kane comes, or something like that.
If I said like, OMG, the Devils land Patrick Kane in this trade, that would be clickbait.
And then it goes ... if.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you click on it. Yeah, that's clickbait.
Exactly.
That's clickbait. And any
want
articles on pucksandpitchforks.com that I write, I actually mean, and it's the Lindy Ruff thing, I got that too, that it was clickbait, that I want attention. But did you read the article? Like, nobody ever reads. They only read the headlines. So they already know what the article's about based on the headline. But basically, and I think right now the Devils are reaping the benefits of patience with Lindy, that you've got that continuity of a veteran head coach that's won 800 games, and Jack Hughes doesn't have to worry, or Nico Hischier. Like, if you go to coach to coach to coach to coach, they're not going to develop properly. These are your cornerstone franchise players, and I think it's a good thing to suck it up and go with Lindy. And you know what, Ray Shero, I think he held a little too long with John Hines, but Lindy Ruff is proven. John Hines, came in, great coach, but he came in a situation where he was a nobody, and except for one season, which was riding the coattails of Taylor Hall, he didn't really do much in terms of results, but he did develop, he did try to develop the players. But I think the issue with John Hines was he changed the lines. Just like, I think he was just overthinking it to a degree.
There just simply wasn't enough talent.
Yeah.
That's the thing I always go back to. The team was brutal. When Lindy Ruff struggled as a coach, the team was brutal. Hischier and Hughes weren't what they are today. So,
Vinny, I can't help but notice, but tell us about your Vinnie hat.
My Vinnie hat. There's a guy I follow on Twitter. He had a hat. It was blue, and it had his name on it. And I said, kind of tongue-in-cheek, but I also meant it. I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I had one of those in red, because I like the color red. And got one for Christmas following year from my girlfriend. That's the story of the Vinnie hat.
I hope you wear that at American Whiskey, because that is
it's coming.
Really, that is one of the coolest hats around. Now, Shorts Guy made one T-shirt. I hate Sam Wu, and I don't even get one. There's only one T-shirt, and he wears it. We should start selling them at American Whiskey. I'll be the one.
What would
selling
sell
it.
better, an I Hate Sam Wu shirt or an I Hate Vinnie Parise shirt?
I don't know. Or, well, you know what would sell better than I Hate Sam Wu is I clickbait for Vinnie Parise, T-shirt.
That's funny.
Uh,
I mean, if by clickbait you mean I want you to click it? Of course I want you to click it.
of
Please
course.
click it. But
Yeah. Any
there's no
writer.
false information there. It's nothing more than a think piece. The Devils are a contender. A contender will trade for Patrick Kane. Blackhawks fans are interested in what they might get in return for Patrick Kane when the time comes.
Yeah. Strategically speaking, I haven't, first off, full disclosure, I haven't read the article. That's the first I heard of it, through the YouTube Live. But strategically speaking, realistically, I think the Devils are in such a good position to the point where they don't need to give up a lot to get these kind of trades. I think that they should just wait for free agency, and then you don't have to give up any kind of assets to another team. For Patrick Kane, it's kind of like, I think it's going to cost a lot unless there's some circumstance where other teams just don't want to pay. It have to be like a lot of teams, but that's not going to happen.
And that's what I go through in the article. There's 3 trade proposals in the article. One of them is like there's 7 teams vying for Patrick Kane. You're going to have to pay a lot if you want to get him. This is what that might look like. Then there's another trade where the return for the Hawks is really light. It's like the Devils are the only team trying to trade for Patrick Kane. The Hawks are just going to take whatever they can get for him, so the trade is less that the Devils are giving up. And then the third is kind of a mix of it's a mix of both, like giving up NHL talent and prospect talent, where it's kind of like a mix of both. You're shedding cap or whatever. Each trade has like a different mindset to it, if you will. And that's all I'm saying is it's just a think piece. It's meant to be like, if you're a Blackhawks fan, full disclosure, it's a Chicago website. If you're a Blackhawks fan, what are you going to get for Patrick Kane? If you're trading with the Rangers, are you going to get Capo Caco? Are you going to maybe get someone like Lafreniere, a first-round pick, Hedel, something like that? If you're not, is it a second-round pick and a fifth-round pick, like stuff like that? If it's the Colorado Avalanche, what are they willing to give up for someone like that to go for a cup repeat?
Yep.
It's literally just meant to get people thinking and excited for trade deadline season.
Yeah.
There's no false information whatsoever.
Yeah. All right, folks. YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live. You heard it here first. Anyway. So, Vinny, you're coming next week, right? We got to take care of business tonight, the Flyers. And, by the way, Campbell says it's beautiful 70 degrees Fahrenheit, summer afternoon here in New Zealand. Great day for a winning game of hockey. So LGD. We got fans like internationally. This is the coolest thing. It is the coolest thing. And I see the rankings. We do well in Great Britain. We got our UK fans.
If you're watching this, follow me at Vinnie Parise on Twitter. Send me a DM. I want to know if you're international, if you're from New Zealand or Great Britain. First of all, I want to be friends with you on Twitter. Second off, how did you become a New Jersey Devils fan? Like, I'm from Chicago. People think it's weird that I root for the Devils over the Blackhawks. How do you come from all that way around the world to start cheering for the New Jersey Devils? I would like DMs telling me how.
Wow.
And then I'll share them all on the show. That's your way to get noticed on the show. I will share them all on the show next week. I believe. What's our next team?
You're trying to get followers. You're trying to get followers.
Clickbait.
Yeah.
All right, send me a DM without following me. That's fine. My DMs are open. You don't have to follow me.
Vinny, I'm just joking around with you. I hope you realize that.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
You're making fun of the clickbait people.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's a meetup on December 15th, according to Tony P., some Brat Pack thing. Not aware of it. But we'll be at American Whiskey quite a bit in December. But there's a lot of, there's a lot of logistics issues, me trying to get down there. But you could definitely find us on the big screens there at American Whiskey. That is for sure. Yeah, most likely I'll be there on Tuesday, December 6th. December 9th, that's when Vinnie Parise is there. Also, December 12th, first time announcing this, Devils Rangers at Madison Square Garden. The Let's Go Devils podcast will be at Stagehouse Tavern in Mountainside, New Jersey, off of Route 22 for a watch party hosted by yours truly, Arlette. First time we're announcing it. We will be promoting it for the next 9 days. But I will tell you, folks, it's going to be a good time. You've got music, entertainment, you got good food, you got good booze, and yours truly, Vinnie Parise, is going to be in New York City, and we're going to see if we can hook up via internet and do Game Day Live in 2 different locations, at American Whiskey in Manhattan, the New York version of American Whiskey, which is a couple blocks away from that dump called Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous train station, which is going to get the wrecking ball in about 5 years. But don't let me distract you with that. And we'll be at Stagehouse Tavern in Mountainside, Route 22, for a viewing party, Devils Rangers. So just to let everybody know about that. Okay, let's get to our predictions, Vinny. Because I was looking at the betstamp.app. Don't like the numbers here, the payout. But it's a happy problem because it looks like our Devils are favored.
Yeah, the Devils are big time favored. That's scary a little bit, especially against the Tortorella Flyers. But it is what it is. Coming into this game, I have them winning the game at minus 240. I went to BetStamp app. I tried to find them at the best price I could. I found them on the DraftKings Sportsbook at minus 240. It is a 6-2 victory for the Devils in my estimation. I hope they end up pulling it out because this is a big game for them. If they lose this game, people are going to start to, worry a little bit. Even though I don't really get why they're going to lose games. They're going to lose games to teams that are lesser than them. But they've won a lot of games so far this year. But it would be nice to get that 20th of the season a lot earlier than people thought they were going to. So let's break 40 points. You guys remember that year that the Colorado Avalanche finished with 48 points? The Devils are almost there. It's not even Christmas. So That's exciting. It's really exciting. So hopefully they're able to keep it rolling. This Flyers team is not very good, but they're well coached, well conditioned, and they got a good goaltender. So you got to create good chances. I'm looking for a big night from our boy number 86. This is a night where, you might remember last game I predicted Heischer would have a good game. I think Heischer's game matches up well against the Nashville Predators. Well, lo and behold, he did. He had an assist. Everybody had a decent game forward-wise, like offensively a little bit from time to time. And Saros is an amazing goalie. But against a team like the Flyers, I'm looking for Jack Hughes to just really dance around a lot.
Yeah. So I have the Devils winning 4-2. Same thing, DraftKings Sportsbook. I think I think the Devils, look, they have some injuries right now. I think Nathan Bastian, there's really no updates on him. But you know what? I think it's going to be a gritty game. No pun intended. I think it's going to be, a little bit of back and forth. And I see our fans are putting in their predictions. 5-2 Dave Singer. Dennis says 6-3 New Jersey. Ramona 5-1. Christopher 4-2. Going with my prediction. And yeah.
We're getting Akira Schmid tonight. Vitek Vanacek will back him up.
Really?
Yep. Which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Looking now to see about Philly. I believe it will be Carter Hart versus Akira Schmid, but let me just triple confirm that. Ooh. Hold on. Working on that now. Yes, it will be Carter Hart versus Akira Schmid.
Yeah,
Or
you know
Schmid.
what? David Singer makes a good point. Good to play Schmid. This is a massive test with Blackwood due back. He feels like they're testing him. Hey, you know what? Carter Hart versus Akira Schmid. That's a good matchup. I think that's a good matchup. And you know what? Schmid has done everything anybody could ask for him to do. And you know what? He's a year ago, you had they were just such young prospects, both Dawes and Schmid. I think they're holding their own right now. So very good, very good. And we should be appreciative that we have this happy problem of good goaltending, but I think the defense as well has helped out the New Jersey Devils. But yep, Vinnie, Parise, and I both predicting the Devils would win, and Devils taking on the Flyers on the top of the hour, puck drop at 7 p.m. Eastern. All right, Vinnie, any last thoughts?
Yeah, go out there, play hard. Again, this Flyers team not very good. I think they could go out there and do this. As always, like you say, I'm going to say it too. Let's go Devils.
Yep, let's go Devils. I want to thank all those watching, listening, dropping the podcast in about 20 minutes. For those trying to get to the game at Wells Fargo Center down in Philadelphia, stop by at Chickies and Pete's, our good friends there, where I was there on opening night. They've got the crab fries. They've got the lobster tails. Actually, you're going to have to take a second mortgage for those lobster tails because lobsters aren't exactly easy to get. Vinny, we gotta talk afterwards because I can't wait to go out on a binge eating spree. All the good food. You need to try the Taylor ham out here in the morning. You need to try some steaks, some lobsters, all that good stuff, and real pizza from the area. I don't want to cause any problems with you and your folks at home, but a little bit different. It's not deep. I don't want to get deep dished or deep, you know what.
Deep dish is tourist pizza. That's the thing people from out of town don't understand.
Yeah. All righty. Full 60 minutes, folks. Till next time, let's go Devils.